The Wizard of Lies, Bernie Madoff and the Death of Trust, by Diana B. Henriques. Narrated by Pam Ward. Copyright 2011 by Diana B. Henriques. This unabridged audiobook is published by arrangement with Times Books, an imprint of Henry Holt & Company, LLC, and was produced in the year 2011 by Tantor Media, Incorporated, which holds the copyright thereto. Prologue. Tuesday, August 24th, 2010. Glimpsed through the glass double doors at the end of a long prison hallway, he is not recognizable as the impassive, hawk-faced man who was marched incessantly across television screens around the world less than 2 years ago. He seems smaller, diminished, just an elderly man in glasses talking deferentially to a prison official and looking a little anxious as he waits for the locked doors ahead of him to click open. Escorted by an associate warden, he steps from the sunshine of the prison's sealed courtyard into the dim, cheaply paneled visiting room. The room would have fit easily into a corner of his former penthouse in Manhattan. Its furnishings consist entirely of faded plastic lawn furniture, red armless chairs around low tan tables, and it is illuminated today only by light from one large window and a row of vending machines. On most of his occasional visits to this room it had been filled with prisoners and their families. But as he enters with his escort on this Tuesday morning, the room is empty except for his lawyer, a guard, and the visitor he has finally agreed to see. As the rules require, he sits facing the guard's desk, where the associate warden settles down to wait. He unfolds a single sheet of ruled paper. It appears to be some handwritten notes and a few questions for his lawyer. He spreads the sheet out on the table in front of him. The creases in his tan, short-sleeved shirt and trousers are knife-sharp, despite the humidity of this late summer morning. His hair is shorter, but it suits his slimmer frame. His black leather sneakers are gleaming. Aside from a small spot where the brass plating on his belt buckle has worn away, he is as carefully groomed as ever. Even though he does not much resemble the heavier, better-dressed man shown so often in the news reports after his arrest, he still has a quiet magnetism that draws the eye. For more than 2 hours he answers questions, sometimes with a direct gaze and sometimes with eyes that shift to the empty patio outside the window beside him. He is soft-spoken and intense, with occasional flashes of wit. He loses his composure just once, when he talks about his wife. Throughout, he seems unfailingly candid, earnest, and trustworthy. But then he always does, even when he is lying. That is his talent and his curse. That is what enabled him to pull off the largest Ponzi scheme on record. That is what will enable him to spin the facts and obscure the truth about his crime for as long as he lives, if he chooses to do so. Bernard L. Madoff, inmate number 6172705-4, is the best-known prisoner currently held at the sprawling Federal Correctional Complex on the outskirts of Butner, North Carolina. The Butner-Creedmoor exit on Interstate 85 does not announce that the prison is located here. There are no clearly marked signs within the little hamlet, just a few narrow black-and-white painted pointers at intersections, old-fashioned and easy to miss. The prison is not on the local map in the telephone book, so visitors have to ask the motel clerks for directions. The twisting route from the interstate involves urban-sounding byways like 33rd Street and E Street, but is lined mostly with vine-blanketed trees and weed-strewn fields. The prison complex looms suddenly out of the pine woods on the right. It consists primarily of 4 large buildings set in a floodlit clearing among the lowland forests and fields. To the right, set slightly apart on the eastern edge of the property, is a minimum security prison, the color of manila folders and distinctively free of walls or fences. Almost hidden from view behind a thick stretch of trees to the left is a large modern prison hospital, whose separate entrance is farther along the 2-lane road that meanders past the complex. And just visible up on a small wooded
Sample complete. Ready to continue?